Hello, welcome back. Wow. This is my first wrap-up of the year, guys. The end of 2017 has been a really interesting reading month. I've not read as much as I wanted to, just because I've been reading a lot of chunksters. And for anyone who's new to my channel, chunksters means huge books. So I'm going to start. I'm going to breeze over a couple, because I think you guys will probably know them well, or very well by now. So, I read Beautiful Creatures. I reread this. It's a series that I do love and enjoy. I love the sort of Southern Gothic feel of this YA series. And it's great fun to go back into it. It's definitely one of those series that I do revisit, and I can't help it. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. I reread Ready Player One because the film is coming out and I was just in the mood. Although I didn't read the book, I listened to the audiobook, I should say. So, Will Wheaton reading this is spectacular, and what can I say about Ready Player One that everyone else has said? I also read another Ernest Cline book, Armada. I don't get the hate for it. Everyone says it's not as good as Ready Player One. I actually find this more enjoyable. I prefer this. I prefer the writing, technically, on a writing level, and story progression. It is superior, in my opinion, to Ready Player One, and I think the writing feels so much more comprehensive than Ready Player One. Where Ready Player One feels quite light in places and tends to breeze over things, this gives you a little bit more meat. So, yes. Ooh, I forgot that one. Chaos behind me. I also reread To Kill a Mockingbird. This is my favourite book. I revisit this book yearly. I think it's beautiful. It's a very poignant and very powerful book that I've talked about so many times on my channel. I'm not going to go into detail, but just how beautiful is this vintage edition? Seriously, I want that on my wall. If anyone knows where I can get that on there, I would please tell me. It's a beautiful book, and it's definitely one of my personal favourites, and a book that is just beautiful and has so many amazing messages, and messages we are still learning today, sadly. I mean, with Donald Trump in the White House, oof. Yeah. Less said about that, the better. The publisher was kind enough to send me this, which is the 10th anniversary edition of Mortal Instruments City of Bones, now known as the Shadowhunters Chronicles, whatever it is. This is the 10th anniversary edition. It's rather beautiful, and what can I say? I do love these books. I think they're very flawed books. There's no way around that. The whole, Cassandra Clare as a writer is extremely flawed. She tends to write the same characters, Draco Malfoy in leather pants, but they are so enjoyable. And I mean, this is a gorgeous edition of the book. I mean, seriously. Although, the only thing I will say, I'm disappointed in the fact that it's not really a hardback. It's a paperback in a hardcover. There's no fabric, it's just glued in. It's basically it's a paperback in a hardback cover, which I'm really disappointed. There is a marked difference between a hardback, and this is the cheaper bog end of the spectrum, which is a shame, but very few books, it would have been better. That's my one little bugbear, and that's just purely because it's a 10th anniversary edition. I think this could have been a spectacular, well-constructed hardback, and it's just a paperback in hardcover. Which is, that you have to Google it. There's like a whole big thing on how books are made, and you'd find it quite interesting. And I think a lot of people don't realise there is a subtle difference between some hardbacks. A true hardback and that. There's a difference between a true hardback and this hardback. So that's the whole complicated thing. And another book that also is a fake hardback, as I call them, A Little Life. I wanted to read this, and it was in a charity shop, and if you watched my haul, this was in that video. I got this for like £2 or something ridiculous in a charity shop. I'd seen it loads of times, but always in paperback, and this in paperback is about it's like that much thicker, and it's squashed down. and it's just too big. And books in this format, this size book in paperback, they tend to fall apart. But I read this, and I heard a lot of hate for it. But you know what? Wild Reads was right. It's a very powerful, very touching book. I love the characters. I love the fact you see them over the years and how they change and how they deal with life and situations. It's a very dark book. It's not. There's parts of this book that are not happy, but it's such a well done and very thought out book that it's definitely left a major mark on me. And it's just spectacular. Again, like I said, fake hardback, which is a shame, but we can't. I mean, it's pretty. It's good, I will say that. And please ignore the hate this gets. Give it a chance. I was put off by some of the reviews, but actually, maybe it's just too intelligent for your average Goodreads user. That's another toxic fandom. Anyway, I'm the Bald Book Geek. All of my links are in the doobly-doo, so please like and subscribe, and tell me what you think, and if you've read any of those, please comment. So, as always, I'm Will, and see you later.